Welcome to the Restore It Ralph channel. Today we are taking my son's 1986 Plymouth Reliant to its first car show. Yeah, I don't know why either. Got back from the White Trash and White Wall show in Fairborn, Ohio. Usually a pretty good turnout. We got there a little bit late and the weather turned on us, so we were too late and it was kind of sparse by the time we got there. But officially this car has made its first car show appearance. That means it needs to be a show car, right? Both sides of this car have rocker rust similar to this. This side is much worse than the other side, but we're going to end up doing both sides. So unfortunately, we're going to have to cut that out and weld a new piece in. I'm not going to buy a piece because a lot of times, especially for a car that's unpopular like this, you're not going to get quality reproduction sheet metal. So I might as well bend it up on the sheet metal brake and fit it myself. First step of any welding project is to unhook your battery, because if it has any modules in it, if it's computer controlled at all, welding could cause like voltage spikes, and we don't want to ruin modules, especially for an 86 Reliant. I would total it. And although this car is pretty solid, this is a bad spot, and pretty much I think I'm going to be replacing most of this rocker from about the back door gap all the way to the dog leg here. Hopefully the dog leg is not too bad, but in Ohio, there's not really such a thing as surface rust. If you can see rust, it's probably coming from the backside out. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have quite a bit of repair to do in this area. I'm gonna use a combination of my DA with an 80 grit and a 36 grit on my whiz wheel here and see where there is good metal, so that way I can weld the new metal to it. If you're asking yourself, why is he working on this particular car? That's a valid point. This is an 80,000 mile car that was gifted to my son. Thanks, John. And man, stuff like the door bottoms are just exceptionally clean. This is an original paint car and it shows okay. It's actually pretty clean. It's just doofy enough to be cool, so I might as well try and save it while we can. Got a welding blanket laid and taped into place. That's going to protect the interior and other stuff from not only welding, but grinding. Anytime you're grinding and you see sparks, those are little molten pieces of metal and can damage your interior or glass or anything like that. So gonna be safe with that. My goal is to not paint this car, so I am going to sand as little as possible. I'm going to find the shiny spots of metal and where the rust edge ends, and then weld to that. So here we go. As expected, I've opened up a can of worms, but it's basically what I thought it was going to be. I might try and just make a small patch right here and then basically go from this grind line all the way back to the dog leg, and I'm hoping that that edge is strong enough that I can weld onto. I'm going to cut it right underneath that edge, and hopefully that is not thinned out. It is a little thin in that area, so I might have to do some creative patching, but if I can not have to shape that upper curve into the door jamb, I think I'll be better off. Oh goody, that's my fuel filter and lines right here. So What I'll probably end up doing is cutting a piece of metal and just clamping it to the pinch weld as a precautionary shield. I'm going to start cutting this thing out using my electric Metabo or cutoff wheel or whatever you want to call it. And what I'm going to try and do is cut right below this fold here. And I'm going to try and cut this out as one piece. Now that might be optimistic. If I can do that, it'll be a good pattern to go from for my patch panel. If not, no big deal. I'll use my alternate method, which usually includes using masking paper and the side of a pencil. Always use gloves and a face shield when running one of these things. Getting injured is not worth it, especially on like this car. Mouse nest. I knew it. Alright, not bad. As many rodents that were living in the HVAC box of this car, I suspected that maybe a mouse nest was holding moisture in here and rotting the rocker panel out. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of mouse in here, but a little bit. And this is just normal for any car. The moisture and dirt collects up in there and then it just rots it from the inside out. So this actually isn't too bad. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and then maybe shoot a little bit of rattle can black inside there and then start making my patch panel. Got a scrap of sheet metal here. I think it's 20 gauge or something like that. I've got my old panel just kind of laid over top of it. What I'm going to try and do is trace this thing over it. I'm going to leave just a little bit more material than what's laid out because there is a slight body line there. And if I bend it, that would shorten it up from top to bottom. So I'm going to maybe leave an extra 1/8 of an inch in it, something like that. I don't know. If I screw it up, I'll make it again. So I've got this drawn out and marked, and I've got outside versus inside on where I'm going to be cutting to make this thing maybe fit a little bit better. If I go on the outside here, that'll give me that little bit of extra material that I need. The inside, actually, I'm not going to be going on the inside. I'm going to be cutting the line itself off, so it should be the exact size. But inside versus outside works in my brain. I'm going to use a combination of these Harbor Freight shears and my cutoff tool to trim this thing out. These were like 40 bucks. I know they were like, I don't know, it's probably been 5 years ago since I bought them. It's very handy. They're not the best, but they're better than not having shears. So it works pretty decent. It makes short work of it. First test fit, pretty decent. So got a couple magnets here that are just holding it in place. I gotta do some trimming right on this edge, but if I were to lay this like flat across there, it's a little bit too long, which is what I wanted. So now I've got to mark it right here, right at the body line, which it just fell down, and basically put a crease in it. So basically put an edge on there, and that'll kind of V it, and then hopefully make it a little bit shorter and from top to bottom, and then fit right in there. In my mess of a shop, I do have a sheet metal brake. This is one of those Harbor Freight ones. I think it's a 24-inch. It was, gosh, I think it was $40 when I bought it. And then I made a metal stand for it so it wouldn't take up workbench space. The bead roller is something that I don't need today, but I would highly recommend getting it. I was able to build my whole CJ3B body using these two tools and my welder. Not the best tools, but should get us where we want to get today. In the past, I've bent metal in vices and those like flat looking pliers and stuff like that. It can get you there. This one actually puts a pretty nice bead in it. At least it's consistent. The way this thing works is it's got this plate that you use the C-clamps and hold it here. And then when you lift up on that, it bends this up. Now I had to move my marks from the front side to the back side because I need to take this thing and bend that little lip this way so I didn't put it backwards. So I'm gonna clamp this thing in place, bend it up, see how it fits. Roughed in with magnets again. With some grinding and trimming, I think I can make that work. We'll dress it up and get ready for its final fit and start tacking it in place. I'm gonna spray some paint on the back of this thing, shine up the edges here, and get some more magnets or clamps to hold this in place. I think it's time to start tacking this piece in place. Starting to tack it in. Looking decent. Please don't use my video as your welding video. There's a million other better videos out there for that. All welded in. This is a tedious process where you take like a couple spot welds and kind of tack everything together and kind of spread out the heat. So you don't want to just run a bead of weld across this whole thing because you'll end up warping it. Now, I usually do 2 to 3, maybe 4 spots and then move, I don't know, 6 inches away and kind of work my way around. I actually stopped twice in the middle of this to let the whole panel kind of cool down a little bit as well. So now it's time to get out the grinder, and that is an even worse process, especially when you're using a MIG welder as poorly as I do. After taking a 40 grit on my flap disc on the Metabo and then going over it with the whiz wheel, little die grinder with like a 36 grit 2-inch sanding disc, I'm going to call this good. I know I could probably grind these welds a little bit more. Anywhere that you see the weld, that means the dark spot is a low spot, and I've got to wipe this whole thing with filler anyway. So I think I'm going to call that good and move on to the next steps. So it's the same story over here, about the same amount of damage. It didn't quite go as far forward. Stupid mice. Man, I hate rodents. Time to grind on this one. This one kind of went together pretty quickly. Threw on some quick rattle can beige on there just to seal up the metal. I'm going to be sanding that down and putting filler on top of it. But for now, that'll seal it up and keep it from rusting. From a distance, if the paint matched better, probably wouldn't even notice it. Gonna definitely bodywork these things, get them smoothed out. Shouldn't take too much they're flat, so it shouldn't be. Just a little bit with the DA, maybe some blocking, and then try to match this paint, which is going to be a challenge because this is like a special order color. It's 99 paint code, government beige, green. I don't know what it is. I'm going to take a break for the moment. I got out here early to beat the heat, and now the heat is here. So I'm not going to sit out here and do body work in 95-degree weather. I'm going to go in the air conditioning. It's another hot one out here, so I'm going to try and get this thing knocked out pretty quick. Got some filler on there. First DA, knocking it down. Going to put another layer or two on there just to smooth it out a little bit better and get it ready for some primer. Just a quick look at Chrysler Quality Control in 1986. This black paint was, I assume, applied just to like hide the pinch weld on there, but they didn't mask it. They didn't even get it straight. So I'm not going to worry too much about my sloppiness because I think I can do better than that accidentally. Got some filler applied. Just let this tack up and dry a little bit and then sand it flat. Maybe start applying some primer. Same story on this side. I wish I could get better at applying filler. Seems like I always mix it too hot and it dries while I'm spreading it. I shot some beige rattle can that I had laying around just to seal it up for now until I get the paint mixed up for it. It really does need some more body work on it. I'm just out of motivation on this project and want to be done. It's going to rain tomorrow, so I'm going to call this done. Well, from a distance, it looks okay. You can see that it needs some more body work. And the paint does not match at all. I'd almost rather it be in primer so it doesn't look like I'm pretending this matches, because it does not. All in all, pretty happy with it. It's better than big rust holes and it'll keep it from spreading. Until I get the paint mixed, I think that'll be good enough. Since my intent is not to paint this car, I'm almost wondering if I need to do like some spatter paint. So this is the original rocker, and the rock chips and stuff shows primer through it. And if I just took like a toothbrush or a paintbrush and splattered some primer and maybe some white or something like that, I might be able to blend that in and do some faux patina. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't want to paint this whole car. Partially because it's a Survivor, and partially because it's an 86 Reliant 4-door in mint beige green grossness. I had a hunch when I was at Lowe's for some flap wheels, and I misted this matte sea green over that stupid beige that I painted on these rockers. Man, that's pretty close. Needs a better paint match, maybe some faux patina, and more body work, honestly. But for now, until I get some paint matched, I think that looks pretty decent. That kind of cleaned up the car. Doesn't have noticeable rust anymore. And as soon as I just drive it around and get dirty, it will probably be just fine. Obviously, I'm an idiot for working on a Reliant 4-door, but the processes to do rust repair are the same for any car, and I would recommend working on any car besides a 86 Reliant. That's going to do it for this video. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.